All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Snapper Chat Podcast. My name is Will Ellermets, founder of Snapper Academy, and today we've got a special podcast with none other than Tyson Fotheringham. And I know that's a mouthful, but Mr. Fotheringham, how you doing today, brother?
So good. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but gets recognized. Fotheringham, it's hard to forget.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And dude, you're not just a Golden Door Award winner, but you're a double Golden Door Award winner. I'm
Yes,
really
sir.
excited to kind of just interview you, ask you about how you got to where you're at. I know that you talk a lot about it's not just the goal that you want to hit, but it's about the journey that it takes to get to that goal. You called it something along the lines of like being like process present. But dude, you work with an organization called The Grit, which obviously is a huge organization in the door-to-door industry. I'm pretty sure they have the most golden doors out of any other organization in the industry. So to start off, I'd really love to just kind of hear like, how did you get into the door-to-door industry? What's your background? And then the biggest thing that we're going through on this podcast is like how to be a top producer in the industry, which you are, and you didn't just do it once, you've done it back to back. So we're going to go a little bit through like, tips and advice you have for people watching, struggles you've gone through. But really just to start off, I'd love to hear your story about how you got into the industry and what your background is in.
Sick, dude. Yeah, I'm stoked to help any way I can. As far as like getting into the industry goes, super interesting. Like I never like thought I would be a sales guy. I never like kind of classified myself as someone that would even like be good at doing a sales position. But kind of what happened is I graduated high school, went and served a 2-year LDS mission. Ton of door-to-door guys do it. Um, and then I had a buddy that was like, dude, I heard we can make insane money like doing this like summer sales gig. And I'm like, all right, yeah, like I'll go give that a shot. So we got plugged in with a few guys that work at Vantage. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're like a marketing company for like Terminex and some of the bigger companies, and ended up doing 2 years with those guys. Had kind of like looked around at other places, was thinking about jumping companies, and then I heard of The Grit, and yeah, probably similar things like what you've heard, Will. It was just like, whoa, like these guys have tons of Golden Door reps. These guys have like tons of guys that are doing a million. Like, just like curiosity kind of got in my head, and I was like, I need to go see what these guys are doing, see what's different, because for some reason these guys are recreating Golden Doors like no one else has done in the industry. Like I just need to see what's going on over there, and yeah, eventually curiosity pulled me over, and yeah, I guess they shared their secrets with me.
That's awesome. And did you get a golden door your first year or did it take a couple years to do that?
It took a couple years. So like my best year selling at Vantage was selling 200K, and then I switched to the Grit and doubled and did 400K. And then it was the year after that when I got a golden door it. But yeah, it took a little bit of time to build that like self-belief that I was the type of person that could even go and do something like that.
So the self belief is huge. What would you say are other, uh, traits that you embodied, or things that you had to learn, processes that you had to adopt in order to go out there and hit that accomplishment of being a golden door for everybody watching that wants to do the same?
Yeah, dude, my biggest advice to someone is like, so we all do this thing. It's pretty common. Like I'm sure you're pretty familiar with like visualizing your success. And people always do this thing where they visualize the outcome that they want, or like they do the Tony Robbins exercise where they will visualize getting the golden door, sitting on the stage with Sam Tagger. Like what people need to do, and like what I started doing that helped me tons, was visualizing the journey of getting the golden door, and like visualizing the stress of getting it, like all the prices I was going to have to pay. Like I would sit down and just visualize like, okay, like these are the hardest days I'm going to have. Am I actually willing to pay the price? Like, am I actually willing to keep knocking when it's raining on me and like I've been getting yelled at all day? And something about like premeditating that and overcoming it, moving into the summer, just helps you so much. Then you've already made your decision. It's just a matter of executing at that point.
100%. Well, besides obviously homeowners yelling and rain, the struggles like that, what would you say were other struggles that you experienced over the last 2 years as you went on this journey to hit a golden door?
Dude, there's like ton of just like excuses that you can give yourself, and it comes down to if you're gonna like validate the excuse or not. So, for example, this year we switched markets 3 times, and if I wasn't dead set on getting a golden door and like doing it whatever the cost, it would have been pretty easy to be like, oh man, like we just switched markets. It makes sense that this is going to be harder. Like maybe this just isn't my year. Everything's not going my way. So yeah, this year was like switching markets. We switched 3 times, almost 4 times, sold for a different company every time. Uh, yeah, it's just a matter of like not giving any validity to excuses that creep in throughout the year, because there's always something. Like it's never what you want it to be.
So that's kind of interesting. So I didn't know that's what Grit does is they're a marketing company that works with different uh, past companies, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. So when you went to different markets, you were working with different companies, but all with the same team at the Grit. That's pretty cool, dude.
yeah, yeah. It was sick. It's like it's all the same team. It's your family, and you guys are jumping around. But we go from like Texas, which is super super dense, really competitive. Like pest control is a super known industry. Then we move up to Cincinnati, start selling for a company that has zero customers and completely different demographic. But yeah, like winners are just going to win and figure it out. And if you're not dead set on hitting your goal, it's just it can be a tough thing to power through. Like you're not going to make that decision midway through the journey.
Right. Going back to what we were talking about a little bit with how it's not about like hitting the goal, it's about the journey to hit that goal. I know that you were talking about something like with like being process present. You mind talking about that a little bit too?
This is my second year getting a golden door, kind of like you were saying, um, and it was a completely different experience. Like not any easier by any means, but the first year it was all about hitting the goal and like doing like everything to hit the goal. And then I remember hitting the goal and feeling so good, and that feeling like only lasts for a few hours. So like year two, going into it, getting a second golden door, it was way more of being, yeah, we like to call it like being goal oriented but process present. So the goal is like it's what you're fighting for, but you want to be process present the entire time. And like being process present completely changed everything, because you're going through the summer and you're paying the price, and like I'm having days like the days I visualized, and I'm just like so stoked. I'm like it's raining on me and it's freezing and people are yelling at me, and I'm just like grinning, knowing that like, dude, I'm paying the price that I've like premeditated. Like I know exactly what I'm doing. This is like the most. This is right where I need to be. And yeah, it was a completely different experience. It was so sick.
I love that. So, if you could pick one or two things that you think helped you to hit the golden door, would it be that visualization and then just really like being process present? Are those you think the two biggest things for everybody listening that wants to go out there, hit a golden door? Those are the two biggest things you think that you would attribute that to?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Like I was doing that at least like 3 4 times a week, like doing an actual visualization of actually paying the price, and like premeditating what that's going to look like. So I'd say that is like thing number one. Thing number two, yeah, being process present the whole time and just enjoying the journey. Um, and those things work hand in hand. The more you enjoy the journey, the more like, grateful you are to be there. And people only buy from happy people. Like I think people only buy from people they like. And like, dude, I was stoked all year. Like it was amazing. You do those two things, like you're locked in for a great year, no matter what.
That's awesome. Great mindset. We call it PMA, positive mental attitude, right?
Yeah,
Do you plan on going out there, Tyson, and getting a golden door for the third year next year?
I have to. I have
You
to.
have to. What
Yeah, there's no choice.
based on what you've learned the last 2 years as you've gone out and done it, how are you going to set up your routine for success? Like for everybody watching that wants to have like the best possible routine they can have so they're dialed in, what does your routine look like when you're in season?
As far as like actual hours, like tangible things, or are you
Yeah.
saying just more like mindset?
Yeah, no, sun up to sundown. What's a day in the life look like?
Yeah, I do day in the life. I make sure in the morning I do something that makes me happy. So 3 days a week, I'll I'll go and I'll lift. The other 3 days I'll do some yoga in the morning. And that just cues me up to like have like a positive day no matter what I'm facing. Um, and then after that, I have like a really hard set day, like schedule of non-negotiables for my day. So, um, I'll start knocking at like 1 is the latest, 12:30 is like the standard. So I'm out there by 12:30. I know I'm hitting fresh doors until 9:30, like no matter what. That's an already made decision in my head, and I don't have to ever use mental power deciding when I'm going to stop knocking. It's just always 9:30. And then I have two timed breaks that I do at the exact same time every day, same snack. It's like you want to use zero mental effort so the rest of your energy can go into the customer.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's something that we've learned as well. In the door-to-door industry is just trying to eliminate as many decisions as possible so that you don't get decision fatigue and that you can just be present with the homeowner instead of having to think about where am I going to eat for lunch? What am I getting for dinner? What am I wearing today? It's like everything should already be pre-planned so that you're literally only
Yeah.
thinking about your next homeowner and helping the next homeowner out. So that's awesome, man.
It's crazy.
Um, Couple more questions and then we'll wrap up. Do you have any like investment strategies for what you're doing with the money that you're making in door to door? We talk about knocking doors to buy doors. Are you doing investments? Obviously, you're in Hawaii right now, which is pretty cool. Um, but
Yeah, it's like
but like, what are you doing with the money that you're making?
yeah, dude. So I actually work with these commercial real estate brokers, and we mainly shop out of Utah and Arizona. But right now we're purchasing this. It's called an industrial flex unit. It's similar to what they run pest control branches out of. It's got a big garage on the front, bathroom in there. It's a little office space. So right now we're buying a property in Utah. It's worth about like $3 million. So like me and a few buddies are going in investing on it. Um, and then we do simple add-ons to them. Throw in like a little storage space in the backyard, repaint it, fix it up, sell it for like double the price. Yeah, that stuff gets me fired up, dude. You can only knock so hard. There's got to be an ends to it somehow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you said you did it for 2 years before you got a golden door. So you've been doing it like 4 years total or 5 years total?
Um, yeah, 2 years at Vantage,
Yep.
1 year at Grit, and then two Golden Doors, so 5 years total.
Okay, five
This will be
years.
year six.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Do you plan on
Yeah,
doing it
yeah,
for the
yeah.
next 5 years too, like 10 years in the industry, or what's kind of like the game plan? Because I think you're spot on the money with like having like an end to the mean, having a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't want to just knock doors forever, even though it is an incredible industry, but there's got to be like an end plan, right?
Yeah, yeah, dude. Honestly, as long as it makes sense for me, like, dude, I love it. I view this so much more as like a sport and a hobby than work, and I do it with 20 of my closest friends. Like, as long as I'm single right now, so as long as I don't have a wife that's like super pissed that I just drop off the grid for 5 months, like I would have a hard time taking that pay cut. So I'll just keep rolling and compounding it. And then once the team gets big enough and it's like I'm no longer helping people by like getting a golden door, maybe like transitioning into a little more of a just a manager role.
I love it. Well, dude, I appreciate you taking the time for putting us on game. We're going to put your Instagram and the link here for anybody that wants to follow up with you. But is there any like words of encouragement or advice, or maybe like a challenge for everybody that's watching this right now as we wrap up this podcast and as we wrap up 2024 and head into 2025?
Yeah, dude. I'd say challenge for everyone is just like do something you don't enjoy doing. Like during the off season, just do something you don't fully enjoy and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's going to help you more with sales than anything you do. Any like books you read, anything, just do something hard. Um, and then words of encouragement is just that like as like someone that's done it twice and someone that's going to do it again, like anyone that wants a golden door can get a golden door. It's purely a will thing and a little bit of an obsession thing. But like I promise, anyone that wants it, like you can work for it, you can get it. Uh, it'll be done.
Well
So
said, brother. Well, dude, one time it could have been random or it could have been a mistake. Two times that was definitely intentional, but three times, dude, and you're a freaking legend in the door to door space. So Tyson Fotheringham,
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it,
yeah, we
bro.
appreciate you for coming on, man. Again, guys, this is the Snapper Chat podcast where we're interviewing top reps in the door-to-door industry, such as Tyson. So thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.